Day 7 of Ravens training camp is officially in the books, and this was a very rainy practice. However, that did not stop rookie wide receiver Jacobe Lane from giving you another highlight play of the day. And it feels like at this point we're talking about this kid every single practice. And today might have been his biggest statement yet. We'll break down Lamar Jackson's performance, a rare interception from one of the linebackers, some encouraging injury updates, what Zay Flowers revealed after his contract extension, and why that rainy weather might have actually helped the Ravens. This is the Purple Rain Podcast. My name is Sutton Def. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another Raining Ravens Report. I am your host, Sutton Def, and you're watching the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel where we cover all things Baltimore Ravens all days of the week. If that sounds good to you, please be sure to leave a like on this video and also subscribe to the channel for more. We'll start with the biggest story. Rookie wide receiver Jacobe Lane continues to stack practices. At this point, we're beyond talking about one flashy play. This has become a trend. Multiple reporters at practice said Jacobe Lane made another highlight end zone play against Marlon Humphrey. It was a leaping grab in the back of the end zone over Marlon that got a touchdown for the offense today. And most importantly to me, reports also said that Jacobe Lane got up and let Marlon Humphrey know about it. Mind you, this is after yesterday when Marlon Humphrey tried to jam Jacobe Lane one-on-one and Jacobe Lane was not having it, basically out-physicaled him, puts him to the ground and goes over the middle for an easy catch. He has been cooking Marlon Humphrey all training camp. And say what you want about Marlon Humphrey, how he's cooked, how he's free eats, like I said yesterday, but this is not some backup corner. This is not some undrafted free agent corner. This is a former All-Pro and one of the most physical corners in football. The fact that Jacobe Lane made that play over Marlon Humphrey today and then got up and let him know about it, that tells me that his confidence is going through the roof right now. But it's not just Jacobe Lane having confidence in himself. Offensive coordinator Declan Doyle said that throwing to Jacobe Lane is unlike throwing to any other type of receiver.
What we thought about him just continues to show up, and that is, he's got this huge catch radius, he's got great hands, he's very sticky, he's a very different player than like the guy that I was around that his hands remind me of is like Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas had these strong hands where he could pull it down and away, and you threw it in the vicinity and you felt like he was going to go get it. There's a lot of that feeling. He's a very friendly guy to throw to. Jack is working extremely hard to learn all of it, and I'm really happy with that progress. Every single day, like he grabbed me right before we came off the field and he's like, "Hey coach, I messed up, this." And I'm like, "Hey, you recognize what you made a mistake on. Now the next step is let's fix it before that happens." And so for a lot of young guys, like, it's Jack, it's any of our rookies, we're asking them to be very detailed. We're asking them to, play at a very high level from an IQ standpoint and seeing the defense and those things changing what they might be doing and responding to. And I've been really happy with how all of our guys are stressing to try to grow in that area.
As we heard, Coach Declan Doyle compared Jacobe Lane's contested catch ability and his catch radius to Michael Thomas, which is an incredibly high compliment. Michael Thomas himself even came out and stamped Jacobe Lane in a Twitter post. So when your offensive coordinator gives you that type of compliment, it just goes to show the amount of confidence that he has in you. And honestly, it matches what we've been seeing each day from him. The Ravens drafted Jacobe Lane because of his size. They drafted him because he wins above the rim. And the beautiful part about it, Lamar Jackson seems to already trust him in contested catch situations. So that chemistry is developing much faster than expected. Now let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Statistically, today was another solid practice for Lamar, even in the rain. Lamar Jackson unofficially finished 8 for 12 in teamwork and 3 for 5 passing during 7-on-7 work, with the only major blemish of the day being an interception by linebacker Roquan Smith. Reporters described the play as Lamar Jackson throwing the ball right to Roquan Smith, and then Roquan Smith trying to lateral the ball off of the interception to another teammate. Those are the kind of plays that I'm sure Jesse Minter loves, but of course, from Lamar's perspective, he probably would have wanted that one back. But outside of that, Lamar Jackson played relatively well today. And honestly, I'll take those mistakes right now in training camp because I think it's safe to say we've seen enough of Lamar Jackson in the past 8 seasons to know he's not going to make boneheaded mistakes like that when the season comes. And if we're being honest, training camp is where quarterbacks test these tight window throws. Fact of the matter is they are installing a brand new offense, and they're trying to build as much chemistry as possible with these receivers. Speaking of the offense, a couple of other names had some quietly good days at Ravens Day 7 training camp. Rookie tight end Josh Cuevas reportedly scored multiple times in red zone drills, which is very good coming from Josh Cuevas because we basically heard nothing from him so far. You also had back Rasheen Ali scoring twice in the red zone. And listen, those are two players who are battling for roster spots, so every touchdown matters for them this time of year. We also finally saw undrafted free agent quarterback Joe Fagnano get some meaningful reps today too. And I think that is noteworthy because camp is all about evaluating the depth that you have on your roster, even at quarterback. But let's move over to the defense. Even though Jacobe Lane made headlines again today, the defense also made their own waves. Roquan Smith had that interception that we already discussed earlier. And outside backer Adisa Isaac had his best practice so far. Adisa Isaac generated pressure on a play and also recovered a fumble off of quarterback Skylar Thompson. And whether he forced the fumble himself or not, it's important that he's making plays right now and gaining confidence in his own right. And that is exactly what the Ravens need. They need more edge depth going into this season. Another encouraging update came from Bilal Kone. Kone was cleared for 11-on-11 drills today and immediately broke up a pass near the goal line in the red zone drills. And I'll keep hammering this point home. For young players coming back from injury or just young players in general, gaining confidence right now is everything. Getting back into full team work and making plays is exactly what this coaching staff wants to see. One thing I found really interesting was from Declan Doyle's post-practice presser. Declan said instead of treating the rain like an inconvenience, the team was actually fortunate to get that opportunity because weather is something they'll inevitably deal with during the regular season. And I love that mindset. You don't cancel football because it's raining outside. The playoffs don't stop because conditions aren't perfect. You got to pull down your skirt and stop making excuses. Receivers have to finish catches, running backs have to protect the football, and the linemen have to maintain proper technique even with slippery footing. So those reps matter. Now let's talk about Zay Flowers. Fresh off signing his 4-year, $140 million contract extension, Zay revealed something that stood out to me. For the second straight offseason, he says he has heard all the criticism about him running east to west and not getting north enough. So what did he do? Zay said he added 8 pounds this offseason. So now he's up to 186 pounds. And I actually love hearing that. It's music to my ears because it tells me that he's listening. One of the bigger criticisms surrounding Zay Flowers is that sometimes he tries to do too much, making that home run play, instead of taking the most efficient route towards positive yardage. Now, adding weight isn't going to magically change his play style. But if he's stronger through contact, maybe some of those 5-yard gains turn into 8-yard gains, if you catch my drift. Maybe he breaks more tackles instead of trying to evade every single defender.
He is a nightmare. But he's one of those guys where he's not just quick. He doesn't have just long speed. Like, he gets from 0 to 60 like this. And there's not many guys that you can just match up with that. So most of the time you have to allocate 2 guys to him, which doesn't work in your favor when you're already minus on defense already. So he is a special talent. He deserved all the money that he got yesterday, man. God bless him.
And that is exactly the type of evolution you want to see out of your newly paid $140 million wide receiver. So the biggest takeaways from day 7 are becoming pretty obvious. Jacobe Lane is forcing this coaching staff to take him serious. When it comes to Jacobe, we're moving beyond camp hype. And the question now becomes, how quickly does this translate to the preseason games that start in 10 days from the time I'm recording this video? Because if Lane can make some of those plays against other professional teams, it's going to be very difficult to keep him off of the field. So overall, I thought today was another very productive day, albeit in the rain. Lamar Jackson looks solid. The defense continues to force turnovers. Oh, by the way, you also had center Corey Bullock returning to practice for the first time today. There were other guys like Adisa Isaac and Bilal Kone who came back from injury too. And like I said before, Zay Flowers showed that he is committed to improving his game. But I want to know what you think about day 7 of Ravens training camp. Do you think Jacobe Lane has already done enough to earn meaningful snaps in week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts? Or do you still think the Ravens should bring him along slowly? If you enjoyed this recap, please consider hitting the like button. Also subscribe if you want more daily Ravens content just like this. But until tomorrow, I'll catch you guys in the next video. My name is Sutton Def. You're watching the Purple Rain podcast, and may purple rain. Peace.